Our Parliament, which has acted as the voice of our nation's conscience with its uncompromising stance, especially against the mass slaughter in Gaza, has demonstrated its distinction with 7 joint declarations it has issued, especially the memorandum accepted by the General Assembly on August 29th regarding Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people, has constituted a very strong message for those who turn a blind eye to oppression and are drowned in negligence. The work within the group of parliaments supporting Palestine is another success of our assembly in the context of Gaza and Palestine diplomacy. In summary, this August assembly has proudly passed the Gaza test in a manner befitting our history and national character, fully and completely. To our political parties showing solidarity with the oppressed Palestinians, and I sincerely thank our esteemed members of Parliament. May God be pleased with all of you, esteemed members of Parliament. Last week at the United Nations 80th General Assembly, among other platforms, we became the loud voice of the Palestinian cause. We maintained our dignified stance in the strongest way against the smear campaigns targeting us, our government, and our country. We have never left the brave sons of Gaza, who heroically resist the occupying forces attacking their lands with the world's most modern weapons alone. By delivering over 102,000 tons of humanitarian aid to Gaza, completely cutting off trade with Israel 1.5 years ago, and intervening in the genocide case opened at the International Court of Justice. With many diplomatic, legal, and economic steps that we cannot list here, we stood firmly by our Gazan brothers. Praise be to Allah. This closest witnesses to Turkey's efforts are our Gazan brothers. The Palestinian people know very well what we have done for them and how selflessly we have strived. However, despite this, the unjust and inappropriate criticisms from circles whose record on this matter is not at all bright, we see that it is subject to criticism. We are deeply saddened by this. Neither we nor our friends who walk this path with us became acquainted with the Palestinian cause 2 years ago like some others. We have dedicated our lives to this cause. If God permits, we will continue to fearlessly defend the rights of Palestine and our first Qibla, Al-Quds al-Sharif, until our last breath. I have no doubt about this. God willing, history will write the Republic of Turkey in golden letters as the conscience monument of its era due to our principled stance in Gaza. I would like to especially emphasize this. In our meeting with President Trump, stopping the bloodshed in Gaza was at the top of our agenda. We made our proposals and showed the ways out. What is needed for lasting peace? we clearly stated our principle is this: there is no winner in war and no loser in a just peace. Palestinian brothers are the nation that most deserves peace and tranquility in the world with their honorable struggle. To bring the Palestinians together with the lasting peace they deserve is a debt first of the Islamic world and then of the international community to Gaza. Gaza has had enough of blood, gas, tears, and destruction.
This shame must end immediately.
We do not want a single more innocent person to be taken from life, a single more child to die of hunger, or a single more bomb to fall on Gaza. As Turkey, we will continue to work with all our strength for this. Our struggle will continue, God willing, until an independent, sovereign Palestinian state with territorial integrity is established with East Jerusalem as its capital based on the 1967 borders. Despite all the suffering and the rivers of innocent bloodshed, we maintain our hope. Just as after 14 years of darkness, if our Lord has granted us the chance to see Syria gain its freedom, I wholeheartedly believe that we will also see the beautiful days where peace, tranquility, and security prevail from the river to the sea. We send our messages of solidarity to our brothers and sisters in Gaza and Palestine from here. I emphasize that Turkey, which has always stood by them, will hopefully continue to do so. Mr. President, esteemed members of Parliament, at this exact time last year, at the beginning of the new legislative term, on this podium, I had pointed out the importance of strengthening our internal front and expressed my wishes for our Parliament to work in harmony, alliance, consensus, and mutual respect, setting an example for society with both the government and the opposition.
The same day,
Mr. Devlet Bahçeli, chairman of the Nationalist Movement Party, shared his thoughts on the construction of a terrorist Turkey, both with his courteous demeanor in the General Assembly of the Parliament and with his enlightening statements outside the Parliament, addressing both the government and the opposition. In the past year, historic steps were taken towards our goal of a terrorist-free Turkey, and significant progress was made. On this occasion, I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of my country and nation to Mr. Devlet Bahçeli, one of the architects of our ideal of a terrorist Turkey, for his vast political experience, knowledge, and determination. In the same way, I extend my gratitude to the Dem Party delegation and administration, who have made significant contributions with their constructive stance and efforts in the past year towards ridding Turkey of terrorism until his last breath. I also remember with mercy Istanbul Member of Parliament Mr. Süreyya Önder, who worked hard for the demolition of the wall of terror and for peace and brotherhood to prevail in every inch of our nation. In the past year, it has stopped terrorist organization attacks, announced its dissolution, and burned its weapons in a symbolic ceremony. Since 1984, the scourge of terrorism, which has caused both tens of thousands of deaths and an economic loss of $2 trillion, has thus come to the brink of ending. We are aware that the process is extremely sensitive. However, from the very beginning, we are looking at it positively. We are making an effort to view it positively. From this parliamentary podium, I want to express again, the Republic of Turkey does not kneel before any worldly power, does not submit, does not compromise, and never negotiates its sovereignty. In this regard, if there are any of our citizens who have doubts in their minds due to the provocations of some opposition parties, let them all be at ease. Especially the honorable families of our martyrs and our veterans should know that no step will be taken to cast a shadow on their cherished memories. Neither we, as the government, nor our partner in the People's Alliance, the Nationalist Movement Party, nor this Grand Assembly will allow it. Our goal is the end of terrorism and the strengthening of brotherhood. We are taking our steps solely towards this goal. The most important center of our ideal of a terrorist-free Turkey is undoubtedly here, namely the Grand National Assembly of Turkey. Under the roof of the Parliament, the National Solidarity, Brotherhood and Democracy Commission has started its work with representatives from the vast majority of our political parties, and so far, it has held 12 meetings. When the Commission completes its work, we will undoubtedly have very important data. The implementation of the proposals expressed in the Commission as a result of consultation and consensus will constitute the next stage. What is important here is that Turkey's local, national, solution-oriented political parties take on the burden for such a vital issue, come together under the same Commission roof, talk, listen to each other with respect, and hold consultations. This is a very exceptional achievement that grows our hopes for our country's democracy. This Commission has also shown that there is no solution with weapons. Handshake cannot be done with clenched fists. Everything can be discussed, debated, and consulted within the framework of respect. The Commission gathering and addressing every issue, consulting openly and candidly is undoubtedly beneficial, not detrimental, to Turkey. Our National Solidarity, Brotherhood and Democracy Commission has demonstrated this maturity. It has been the best evidence that Turkey has reached this maturity. On this occasion, I thank the valuable members and staff of our Commission and wish them success in their future sessions. Dear members of Parliament, Turkey, this atmosphere of peace and security will preserve it in the strongest way. A Turkey where 86 million are united, together and brotherly, will mobilize its energy not for fighting terrorism, but for prosperity. Successes achieved in every field will be reinforced and strengthened in the terrorist-free environment of Turkey, hopefully creating opportunities for new initiatives. I find it particularly useful to emphasize this point. The steps we will take on matters closely related to Turkey's security should be completely separate from the atmosphere of peace and brotherhood that has been established. Turkey is the greatest, most sincere, and most reliable protector and brother of Kurds outside its borders, as much as it is the homeland of Kurds within Turkey. Recently, the first door knocked on This is how it has been for centuries, today and will be tomorrow. Hopefully, it will never change. Our Kurdish brothers beyond our borders, under the pressures of certain terrorist organizations, enemies of Turks, Kurds, Arabs, and Muslims in general, we will never consent to it being exploited by certain countries and groups. From the very beginning, we strongly support Syria's territorial integrity. Today, we are also strongly opposed to plans for the division of Syria. We have activated all channels of diplomacy, both to ensure Syria's territorial integrity and to prevent any terrorist formations beyond our borders. We continue to use these channels with patience, sincerity, and common sense. If diplomatic initiatives go unanswered, Turkey's position and policy are clear. Turkey will not allow a déjà vu in Syria. This principled stance is not against our Kurdish brothers or the Syrian people, but on the contrary, it is in their favor. It is an attitude aimed at freeing our region from the scourge of terrorism, I emphasize once again. Turk, Kurd, Arab, Sunni, Shia, Alawite, Nusayri, regardless of ethnic origin, language, or sect. We are all travelers on the path to a common future. In this journey, our eternal brotherhood, with God's help, has the power to overcome all obstacles. When moving with Atli Selim 1,000 years,